Welcome to E-Padasala PG program for computer science. Today in this section we will be looking at programming the timers. So, in this section we will be looking at different timers and different modes of this particular timers, and we will be discussing about the timer control registers and its structures. At the end we will be discussing about how to generate a delay using these timers and this different modes. So, now we will be looking at the timers, where we will be having in 8051 two timers are there. So, two timers we have 16-bit timers. So, I can use this timers either as a timer or a counter. So, we can configure the timers, either it should operate as a counter or a timer, and we can configure them to work in a different mode also. So, when we are operating it as a timer, this timer bar counter will run for a particular period of time, then it issues an interrupt. So, now when you are operating this timers as a counters, this will count the transitions which will be connected at your external pin. That means, if I wanted to count how many times a particular event happens, so that event will make it as a negative transition and it will be connected to the external interrupt pin. So, now this counter counts whenever I am it increments 1 whenever I am getting a negative transition on that particular external pin. So, after a full preset number of counts, the counter issues an interrupt request, so that we will be in a position to get how much it gets counted in that particular counter. So, now when you are looking at the operation, we have, because we told you it is a 8-bit microcontroller. So, each register will hold only a 8-bit. So, now we will have 16-bit timers. So, because of that we need to have two registers combined together to make 16-bit. So, here we will have a TH register and TL register. These two are combined together to make 16-bit timer. These two are cascaded together, and we have two timers also. One is timer 0 and the one is timer 1. So, now this TH 0 and TL 0 combined together to make for timer 0, and TH 1 and TL 1 combined together to make a 16-bit timer 1. And to control this particular timers, that means it should not start on its own. If I wanted to say you start counting it or you start running the timer, then I need to have that particular control pin. So, that particular control pin is nothing but your TR, either TR 0 or TR 1. So, TR 0 is for controlling the timer 0, TR 1 is for controlling the timer 1. So, if I am setting TR 0 is equal to 1, then the timer 0 starts count. So, this particular bit is available in your TCON register, and when you are looking at this TLX and TL register and TH register together, first it will start counting or incrementing in TL. When it gets overflow, then it increments your TH, which is nothing but the TL is operating as a lower byte and TH is operating as a upper byte. So, if the TH is also getting overflowed, that means 16 bits are 11111, then it gets a overflow. That overflow which in turn sets, which in turn invokes particular interrupt. So, that will help us to identify certain operations. So, setting the but remember that when we are setting the TR, that does not mean that we will be clearing your TH and TL registers. If we wanted to clear it, we have to make TH become 0 and TL becomes 0. If we are setting it, the timer will start, that is all. Whatever be the content which is available at your TL, from there onwards it will start counting it. So, the next thing is, when you are looking at the operation of your timer registers, you can start from 0, timer can count it from 0, or if I can put a preset value, from there onwards it is ready to start counting it. So, this makes us easy to configure this timer for any type of count or timing within 16 bits. So, now when you are looking at, we wanted to work for either a counter or a timer, that also can be set with a particular bit which is C bar T. So, if I am setting it this particular control bit as 1, then it will go for a counter, and if it is 0, then it will go for a timer. So, which is available in your TCON register. And remember that here I will have a clock in the processor, and each machine cycle I will make it as the clock cycles divided by 12. That means FOSC divided by 12 is in a standard mode. So, when you are looking at timer 0 and 1, we have 4 operating modes. So, because we have TL and TX together, so maximum I can go for 16 bit. So, with that itself they have made the timer has to operate with 4 different modes. So, to identify which are the modes they will be in a position to operate is indicated by M1 and M0 pins. So, combined together these 2 bits will make 4 different combinations, that gives us the information about whether it will be operating in mode 0 or mode 1 or mode 2, and mode 3 is a different kind. So, here in 8051 base system will have the crystal oscillator frequency of 11.0592 megahertz. So, if I am looking at this particular oscillator, it generates 11.0592 megahertz, but I mean each machine cycle is made up of 9 cycles. So, because of that I will get the maximum machine cycle as 11.0592 divided by 12 is the maximum cycles, I will get it in a single second. So, now you just see that how much is the cycle I will be getting, it is 1 by 12 into 11.0592 megahertz is equal to, so we will get 921 kilohertz. So, in this 8051 will work, controller will work with the crystal oscillator frequency as 11.0592 megahertz, will be in a position to do. So, we will get 921 kilohertz. Work can be done, or 921 into 10 power 6 number of works can be attempted done at a single seconds. So, that is what it was trying to say. And if I am looking at, for doing a one particular machine cycle, for one particular machine cycle, how much is the time taken by this particular controller is 1 by 921 kilohertz is equal to 1.085 microseconds. So, one cycle can be operated with one cycle can be operated in 1.085 microseconds. So, this is the time taken to do one particular work. So, now when I am looking at the timer registers, we will have different registers other than your TLX and THX, I will be having a TMOD and TCON. So, the TMOD is timer mode, which is used to select the mode of the operation, whereas the TCON is used to control the timer to either it should stop or it should run. So, TL and TH will combine together, hold the count to generate the desired delay or to hold the number of counts. So, when you are looking at the TMOD register, where we will be having a 8-bit register, this TMOD register is a timer mode register, will have 8 bits over there. In this 8 bits, we have 8 bits, the 0th bit I will call it as mode 0 bit, where this is mode M00, M10. So, this 0 to 3 bits is corresponding to timer 0, and 4th to 7th bit is corresponds to timer 1. So, when you are looking at this particular one, if I wanted to configure either timer 0 or timer 1, that can be done with this particular operating this particular bits. So, if I am operating the lower nibble, then it will corresponds to timer 0. If I am operating with the upper nibble, then it will corresponds to timer 1. So, now when you are looking at this particular bits, I will be in a position to understand that these two bits M0, M1 combined together to make the mode of this particular timer. So, if I am looking at 00, then it is mode 0, it operates in one particular mode. If I am looking at 01, then it will be operating at mode 1, there 16-bit timer is operated, timer or controller is operated. If I am looking at 10, then mode 2, this is otherwise called a 8-bit auto reload timer, and 11 time mode 3, this is actually TL0 as a 8-bit timer bar counter, and it will be operated as 2 counters. So, now when I am looking at this, usually people will work with either mode 0, mode 1 and mode 2, and this mode 1 and mode 2 are very famous when you are operating with your microcontrollers, and these bits will be used for controlling your timer 0, and these top 4 bits are used for your timer 1. So, if I am making it, the C bar T becomes 0, then it acts as a timer. If it is 1, it acts as a counter, and the gate, when you are looking at it, is always it should be 0 when you are operating with your timer. So, when you are looking at your TMOD, which is a 8-bit register, lower bits for timer 0, upper bits for timer 1, the lower 2 bits used to set the timer mode, and the upper bit which will be used to set the timer mode with your timer 0 and 1. So, when you are looking at your TCON register, this is for controlling of timer. So, here we will be having something like not only timer as well as for interrupt also there is some controls are there. So, you just see that 0th pin is IT 0. So, I will call it as interrupt 0. This is timer interrupt 0, and I mean this is IE is interrupt enable, and IT 0 is for timer 0 interrupt, IT 1 is for timer interrupt 1, and IE 1 is for interrupt 1, and we will be looking at your TR 1. Anyway, now we will be not looking at the interrupts, we will be looking at only the control to start and stop your timers. So, TR1 and TR0 are very important. If I wanted to start the timer 0, then I have to set this TR0 as 1. If I wanted to stop it, I should make TR0 is equal to 0. And if the timer counters or registers TL and TH combined together, if it overflows, then this will be set as 1. The TF0 will be set by the system as 1. So, by looking at this particular flag, I know that the overflow occurs. That means it has counted full count and now the overflow occurs. This is these 2 bits for timer 1, this is to start and stop, this is for indicating timer overflow. So, these are the 4 pins which will be very useful when you are looking at your timer controls. So, now you just see that the timer mode 0 I told you, here it is actually it will count mode 0 will count for 13 bits. So, TH and TLX, I mean maybe this is either 0 or 1, it says that timer 0 or 1, but mode 0, 0, which gives you a mode 0, where TH and TL together 8 plus 5 is 13. So, 13 bit of counter is there. So, now you just see that this is a clock, it is divided by 6, then it will go for a divide by 6 and you will be getting the clock as divide by 12 and it comes over here. But remember, if it is equal to 0, then this comes, the negative transition comes into your multiplexer and goes for counting. If it is equal to 1, then that 0 bar 1 which takes care about this mux which has to be sent inside. So, now if it is equal to 0, the timer comes inside, it operates like a timer, so that it goes this way. If it is equal to 1, it operates like a counter, so that the input is taken from here only. So, if this is equal to 1, it goes through whatever be the negative transition occur at this particular point, that means your input, external input is taken and this gets incremented. If it is not so, each time the clock is getting incremented, divide by 12 and you will be getting your increments. So, that way it goes, and remember that here this should operate only when TR is equal to 1. So, if the timer control is 1, then only whatever be the thing we will be giving it has to go through this particular one. So, that is what the whole setup tells you, that how this mode 0 is operated. This is mode 1, where you will be having your THX and TLX are 8 bits, that means 16 bits together. So, the same way it operates like either a clock or a counter through this either 0 or 1. The mux will send that particular data, based on that it gets incremented, the 16 bit gets overflow, then the TFX is getting set. If it is there is a overflow, the TFX of your timer TCON register is set. So, by looking at that particular bit, we will be knowing that there is a overflow, and this in turn generates a interrupt request. So, that is the way we will be in a position to do your operate your mode 1. So, when you are looking at your mode 2, there you will be having only a 8-bit counter, but here we need not again and again overload. When you are looking at this 8 bits, when it gets a overflow, whatever be the number of preset value we have set with your THX is again loaded back to your auto reloaded to this TL. So, auto reload of 8-bit counter has 8-bit timer is done through this mode 2. So, 8 bits, and if there is a overflow, this whatever be the value is there is loaded over there. If it is a timer, from there I am getting a clock, each time I am getting a clock it gets incremented. If there is a overflow, it indicates by the same time it gets preset value is again reloaded back to your TLX. So, this is mode 2. Mode 3 is another one where they will have a 2 8-bit counters. It is not that much used widely. When you are looking at this timer, we need to know how to generate a delay as well as how to, I mean previously we made it, we called some of the sections we have used just call a subroutine to make a delay. So, that way we have done it, but we need to know how to make that particular delay. So, and the delay also has to be specified for how much time, maybe it is 10 microseconds or 5 microseconds, I mean 100 microseconds. So, that may be the delay we wanted to know generate, in the sense how to generate with the help of this kind of timers. That is the major task we will be covering up in this particular section. So, now you just see that if I wanted to start generate a delay, first the T mod has to be set, whether which mode we wanted to operate and what is the timer I wanted to operate. Then the register TL and TH will be loaded to maybe to make what will be the count we wanted to make it. All the time it need not be 16-bit, it may be 8-bit or it may be 13-bit, whatever be the preset value you can use it, so that it from there onwards it has to count till it gets an overflow. And after loading all these presets, then I have to start the timer so that continuously it counts. So, once this comes to a FF, that means the overflow has occurred with that particular register, timer register, then the TF flag, which in turn generates a 1. By checking up this TF, then we have to go for the other operations. And if it is, if I wanted to generate a delay of particular time, then I have to set that particular delay, that particular time over there, I have to start the timer, I have to watch for TF. Once this is equal to 1, then I have to stop the timer. This is the way we will be in a position to generate a delay. So, after that we have to clear the TF flag. If we are not clearing it, then it will go for the, it never go for the next round. So, if I wanted to generate this delay continuously, then I have to go back to again loading the registers and we have to count it again and again. So, we have to put it in a loop from 2 to 7, so that I can generate the delay continuously. So, this is actually I mean how to find out what should be the values has to be loaded with your TH and TL. That is also a major task when you are requiring a particular time amount of delay. So, the first thing is if I wanted to find make a particular delay, then first I have to find out that one machine cycle how much time it takes. It takes 1.085 microseconds, which we have already found. So, with this you should be in a position to understand what has to be the number I have to load with my register, so that it can do that particular delay for a particular time only. So, for that first divide the desired time, maybe if it is 10 seconds, 10 microseconds, divide 10 microseconds by 1.085 microseconds, I mean how much clock cycles I have to wait, that I will found. Then perform, this is the maximum count with the 16-bit timer. Okay. So, 655396 is the maximum clock cycles it will count with the 16-bit register. So, this minus n. So, n is nothing but the decimal value we got it in the time divided by 1.0859. Then this particular value, decimal value converted into hex, and place it this value with your registers. If it is YYXX, XX should be with your TL and YY should be with TH. So, now this is a typical example when you wanted to generate. I wanted to generate a 10 millisecond delay with 11.05 megahertz and timer 0 and mode 1. Mode 1 is 16-bit and timer 0 is there. So, what I am trying to do is first I will make 10 millisecond divided by 1.085 microsecond is 9216 count. This many clock cycles I need to wait. Now, value to be loaded into THTL0 is this 655536 minus 9216, which is equal to 56320. If I am loading it this value to my register, from this onwards it will count up to 65536. That means it will wait for this much time, so that I can achieve 10 milliseconds. This is the idea behind setting up this particular value. So, now this is getting converted into hexadecimal of DC00. So, now your TH0 is DC and TL is set with 00. So, now you just see that this is the code segment with which I will be generating a delay of 10 milliseconds. So, first I have to set the T mod is equal to 0 1, which makes that timer 0 is there because the lower nibble is loaded with 1. So, timer 0 is set and mode 1 is set. Because of mode 1, it is 16-bit mode is there. Now, move TL is equal to 0 0, move TH is equal to 0 DCH. So, now TL and TH is loaded with the preset values for 10 milliseconds and set B TR0. Now, I am making it the TR0, that means the timer control for timer 0 is started. Now, it starts counting. So, now I have to wait till I should get an overflow. So, for that I have made it again is a tag JNB TF0 again. So, I am looking at TF0 is getting a 1 or not. So, once it gets a overflow, by the time only it will get a 1, otherwise you will get a 0. So, by the time again and again, if it is not bit, it goes in a loop. If it is bit, then it comes down. So, when it comes down, that means I have waited for 10 milliseconds. That has been achieved through my this code segment, assembly code segment has been achieved 10 millisecond delay. Now, after that, once 10 millisecond delay is over, I have to come out, then I have to make TR0 become 0, because it is, if it is in one condition, then the clock will get always counting it, timer is getting running. So, we need to stop that by making TR0 equal to 0, that stop the timer. And the TF0 is also equal to 1, which makes the flag is also cleared. These two things we have to do it by in the code. The system will not do it on its own. Based on that only the timer will stop as well as the flag is getting cleared. So, this is a typical example where I wanted to generate a square wave. See, we have seen how to generate a particular segment of, generate a particular delay. So, now with the delay I wanted to generate a square wave. Previously we have generated a square wave with not given a specified time. Now, I wanted to generate a square wave of 5 kilohertz at the pin P1.0 and the clock frequency your 8051 microcontroller clock frequency is 11.0592 megahertz if it has been given. Now, how to write a code to make 5 kilohertz square wave which is generated at pin 1.0. So, now you just see that the T is equal to 1 by f, which is nothing but 1 by 5 kilohertz, which is equal to 0.2 millisecond. It is the period of your square wave, but the square wave period in the sense 1 on and 1 off. So, I can have T by 2 is 0.2 by 2 is equal to 0.1 millisecond. So, I need to generate only 0.1 millisecond either for on time or for off time. So, now 1 millisecond divided by 1.085 microsecond is 921. So, I have to set 655536 minus 921, which is equal to this value. So, now I am setting these two values. So, based on that I will be in a position to set up the timer to make a delay of 0.1 millisecond. So, now first I will be making it move T mod is equal to #01. So, which makes that the timer 0 and mode 1 is set. So, that means it is a timer 0, mode 1, that is nothing but a 16-bit mode. Now, TL1 is equal to 67H and TH1 is 0FCH. Now, we have preset these values to make 0.1 millisecond and we have started the timer set B TR1. So, now the timer is started. So, it starts counting, still it gets a overflow, I have to wait. So, JNB TF1 we have checked again and again the TF flag till I am getting a 1. When I am getting a 1, I will come over here where I have toggled my P1.0. So, that means I am generating a square wave at P1.0. So, because of that first I will toggle from, maybe if it is 0 then it goes to 1, if it is 1 it goes to 0. So, complement P1.0 occurs first, then I am clearing these two pins. So, TR1 is getting cleared, TF1 is getting cleared, again S jump again. So, now I am again reloading these values, I started the timer, I will wait up to I will get a TF1. If previously the P1.0 is 1, I have to wait for 1 millisecond, 0.1 millisecond. So, after that I am getting a overflow, I will come over there CPL 1.0, now it becomes a 0. So, after that I stopped it, again I will come over there, again I have run this. So, continuously I will be toggling this particular P 1.0 from 0 to 1, 1 to 0, which makes a square wave with this standard delay. So, this standard delay gives me 0.1 millisecond, which in turn makes a period of 0.1 millisecond, which in turn generates a square wave of 5 kilohertz frequency at pin 1.0. So, when you are looking at the mode 1, it looks slightly tougher, but when you are looking at mode 2, which is nothing but a 8-bit timer with auto reload, there we need not reload the values, which will be automatically reloaded when you are getting an overflow at your TH. That is what we are trying to do. So, here actually select the timer, then load your TH register with the initial count and start the timer, monitor your TF. If it is equal to 1, you have to clear, that is all, only you have to clear it. You need not reload the value at your TL, it has been done automatically. So, we have to directly go to the step 4, so that we can start the timer, again you will be in a position to run it. So, this is the way you will be in a position to operate your mode 2. So, now you just see that this is the way where I have just created a delay for 25 cycles using mode 2 and timer 1. So, you just see that I have a delay, I just wanted to create a delay for 25 cycles irrespective of what will be the values I wanted to have it. Maybe if it is a 12 megahertz oscillator or 11.5 megahertz oscillator or 20 megahertz oscillator, we will have a different crystal oscillators which will be connected to your 8051. So, now if I wanted to make a standard 25 cycles delay with the usage of mode 2 and timer 1. So, if I wanted to do that, what way I have to write my delay cycle? See, first what you have to do is move T mod is 20H, that means it is a timer 1 and mode 2 is set, and move TH1 is equal to minus 25. Now, remember that I wanted to have only 20 cycles. So, if I am putting minus 25, what it does is 6555, what will be the maximum value holded by your TH1 subtracted by 25 is loaded over there. So, this is the best method without calculating anything. You can put directly minus something which the system itself takes care and makes it whatever be the maximum value holded by your TH1 is subtracted with the 25, it will be loaded over there. So, straight away I can put minus 25. So, now it will start from, it will run for only 25, then it gets a overflow. So, now I start set B TR1. So, now the timer is getting started. So, once it gets a overflow, so till that I am watching it to JNB TF1 loop, again and again I am looking at this. Once it gets a overflow, then I will clear it, that is all. Once I have to start this, that is all, I have to leave it, then till I am getting a TF, I have to go for a loop. So, now what it does is this whatever be the TH which is available over there is automatically loaded to your TL also. This is been always taken done at your system. So, now you just see that the way you with the use of that particular one toggled an LED connected to pin 1.0 with 5 microsecond delay using a timer 1 and mode 2. This is a simple example to run application like I have to make blink or toggle your LED which is connected at pin 1.0 with 5 microsecond delay. You just see that I have set T mod with 20 which is timer 1 mode 2 and 8-bit auto reload, and move LH1 is minus 5 and move TH1 is minus 5, that means 5 microsecond because it is a 12 megahertz oscillator considered to be 12 megahertz oscillator. So, 1 microsecond is taken as 1 machine cycle. So, now minus 5 makes a 5 microsecond delay. So, now move TL1 is minus 5 and TH1 is minus 5. So, this is the initial thing, then I have started it. So, start set B TR1 will start the timer 1. Now, back JNB TF1 back. So, what it does is it looks at whether the TF1 is equal to 1 or not. Till then it gets looped over here and here. Once it is getting an overflow, it comes over here CPL 1.0. So, CPL 1.0 does, if it is already in 1 in the sense it goes to 0, or if it is in 0 it goes to 1. So, now it clears TF1, again it goes back to this particular back. So, now what happens, again the TF is cleared, it comes over here because once we have started it, it will run till we will be putting a clear. So, now it comes to back, again it will be waiting for 5 microseconds delay, then it will change the value of your LED maybe 0, then once this is over, this clears, again it comes over here for wait for 5 microseconds, it goes to 1, it goes. So, the same way it gets rounded up again and again. So, which in turn makes the LED to be on for 5 microseconds, off for 5 microseconds in a loop, which shows that the LED is toggling continuously. This is a very simple applications, but with the prescribed time of doing a particular task. That particular time is set with the help of this timers and different modes. So, this is the way we have to do any of your delay or whatever be the operations you wanted to do it can be done through this kind of codes only. So, in this section we have discussed about the different timer 0, timer 1 and timer 0 and its different modes, mode 1 and mode 2 in detail, and we have gone through the control registers, timer control registers, and what are the important bits we have to handle when you wanted to access the timers, and we have demonstrated some of the simple codes which in turn helps us to understand how to generate a delay routine and how to use that particular delay routines to make a simple applications. Thank you.